It was the year of fire.
The year of destruction.
The year we took back what was ours.
Welcome to Babylon 5.
Zathras knew you would come.
It was the year of rebirth.
The year of great sadness.
The year of joy.
It was a new age.
All right, that's it. That's all I got. I don't know what else to talk about today. I got snow. Last week, my living room flooded. And we're here for Babylon 5. Keith promised he'd be here. And, you know, it's becoming to turn into the Keith of destruction because he's turning into the memes time at this point. But hello, we're back. Yes, it's season 4, episode 3 and 4. Oh, that sounds weird when I say it like that. I see we got some people in the chat, some people waiting. I was working on the intro today. There is a new outro for members that will be played later. Other than that, I would like the chat to ask Monkey with all due politeness to stop making Canada jokes. So they're getting kind of redundant because I can't say redundant, and now I messed up my whole joke. Let's bring on our panel. First up is Adega because I can't talk today.
Canada.
I will hurt you. You're going back. You're going right back there. Welcome to Fat Stevens Babylon 5 Mondays, but people are still dicks in a new year. Let's try that again. Hi, Adega.
2 times Canada.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. I'm going back here. Let's try Monkey Jeebus. Do you really want a job after this?
I didn't say anything.
I'm waiting. And then we have Rowan Ginger Raven, also known as Kate, and the peace sign, or gang signs, depending where you live. And then
what kind of gang are you in? That's a gang
I don't know. It's
sign.
from Minnesota. I don't know.
Oh, right. So Minnesota jokes versus Canadian jokes when they're most.
I need one. Well, no, I mean the peace sign's like, hey, dude, peace. Sorry. I don't know where I'm going with this. All right. Hi, Daga. Welcome back to Shit on a Canadian.
Import tax.
No, fuck you. Not,
well,
I'm
that's
gonna
his
start
fault.
burning bugs. It is his fault. Yeah, it is. And with that, we're waiting for Keith. Everyone knows memes will show up by the time we're dead. And maybe Script Doctor and Tickle Trunk will show up. Those invites have been sent out. I do want to get Elysium on next week if they're available, as well as other people. And with that, I want to say hello to Terry Rose. Doggone it. I have it on disc in front of me, and I didn't watch them. Sorry. I care. Watch them now with the mute. I don't know what Adega is saying, but what does that mean?
Welcome in Irish, Scottish, Celtish.
Failed. Is that right? Failed?
Fealty.
Falte. All right.
I can't pronounce it correctly. I'm half Irish, trying to learn, but doing a very poor job at it.
I can. That's okay. It's you're Canadian. Yeah. Arwen Avalon. Hey y'all. Let's do it.
Hey,
We got Colin saying, "Shoot, dearly damn forgot." I'm glad you're still here. We got Adega laughing at Canadian jokes still. You bastard. Terry Rose. I've already said hello to. Who else is in here that I have not seen yet? Sir Percelot. Hello and happy New Year. Long time no see. And what else do we got in there? We got the Shane Nolan greeting out Kate, Adega, and Steven. Well, Jeebus is here too, so I'll say hi on behalf of you. Hi Jeebus.
Hey.
Wow, that was so exciting. And with that, my phone goes off, and we're going to see in 1 second. We're back. Did you guys watch these episodes? Do you guys like these episodes?
Yes, and yes.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Well, they were actually really good episodes. I'm glad. I hated postponing last week. Because these are kind of like important episodes, and I don't think we've ever really postponed a Babylon 5 since we started. I don't think we've ever missed a week. So that was like the first one. Other than that,
hiatus for Christmas too.
Well, that doesn't count. That's pretty much hiatus for Christmas. I didn't want to make anyone come on the show that they didn't want to. Okay, well, Skip won't make it. We're waiting for Keith to show up. And the first one up, of course, is ours episode 3, which is also known as The Summoning. I hope I got the words right. Otherwise, I'm going to look like a fool. And honestly, this is a great episode in my opinion. Both of these kind of have like the same type of format, I guess. If you're looking at 3 and 4, maybe
Right. They blend together in my head.
they
But
do.
Season 4 kind of all blends together because it's one story. It's not episodes per se, even though it's put down as episodes. If that makes sense.
It does. I don't know why my volume is so low. Oh, that's why it was really low. All right, now I can hear people. But yeah, the summary's pretty cool. We're getting hints of what's going on. We got, I think Delenn's still in mourning. They're getting tips about Garibaldi because he went missing after the last season. He was taken by a shadow ship, and no one knows what's happened to him except for his mild rampage sessions that we see in little clips here and there. Anyone want to start off with this while I yell at Keith on the internet with my mute button? Adega, the floor is yours.
Oh, thanks. No, it really is blended together. I'm trying to think of the actual start of summoning besides the initial clip. I know I'm pretty sure this is the one, not the next one, where Ivanova decides to go looking for first ones and decides to take one of the white stars out to go and find them.
Mm-hmm.
And says, "Oh no, I can do it all by myself." When she's talking to Delenn, I speak the language now. I'm doing pretty good.
Oh God, I remember this now. Oh yes.
Yeah, and
if any of those Mimbari laugh, they will have to answer to me. And then even Marcus is like, you gotta let me come because that split-second translation is gonna be in a world when you're yelling about cat poop and grape juice and fire, and they're just looking at you like you're weird. The translations were funny. They weren't exact. I'm sorry, I don't really remember them.
Well,
they blend together.
L means continuous fire, which he screws up later on. But
yeah. But what's pretty much going down is Delenn still prepping because she wants to still have that assault in Zahadum after the loss of Sheridan, or the thought of loss of Sheridan. We still have the alien races or the aligned worlds who are very iffy, going back and protecting their home planets, going on the guise that, oh, well, they're not attacking right now, so if we just mind our business, they won't attack us either. And it's kind of, they're playing the, as I would call it, the chicken shit mentality. But the same, it is, pretty much it is. But they're also trying to make the better outcome for their planets and their races. I do get it, but it's still chicken shit. You have Ivanova trying to actually ask to borrow a white star to go look for more first ones because there really hasn't been any more success or looking since they met that one. This is where we were just talking about where she's been learning Mimbari, but badly, very badly. Like she has her own dialect, as Marcus said. I don't know if that was a joke or just a little punch in the gut. And
basically,
stuff on
the main crew wants to press the advantage, and it's also a point where we find out the Vorlons decided, you know what, we're done with everybody else. We're on our own agenda. And Lita finds out the hard way that she's no longer relevant.
She's not, especially the way the new Kosh has been acting, and you can see it. Ooh, that's not right. There we go. But as you can see right here, you can tell by Delenn's face, and it's not just getting weird there. They're still trying to look for Sheridan. They're still trying to look for first ones. But the things on Centauri Prime are picking up too, and Londo and Vir are at the point now where even they're trying to plan whatever they planned to make a deal with Jakar. Jakar's getting gestured the hell out, and you can see it's taking a toll on Vir. Vir is not liking this anymore. You can hear it in his voice when he says, "Screw it, kill him. I want him dead." Right. Pretty much, I want him dead. He's reached that point where his acceptance of patience is no longer there, and that's where Vir's crazy side, his Londo side, starts coming out, and I like it about it.
Well, I think I'm maybe reading it a little too deeply, but for most people in the world, I'm talking 99% of the people, to actually understand or rationalize the thought processes of someone who is truly nearly insane or completely narcissistic or sociopathic, it's impossible.
Yeah.
You can expect them to do things that you don't agree with. You can expect them to do things that are very bizarre. But to actually understand why they believe that, is hard to come to grips with. And
You know what else is hard to come to grips with? He finally showed up from his Hawaiian vacation. Hi, Keith.
Ooh.
Hey,
You
how's
sound
it going,
tired.
everybody?
Hey, Keith.
I've had an adventure. So,
Golden Ford's got a suntan. You can hear it.
well, if only that were the case, man. If only that were the case. Let's just say, traveling by air over the last couple of days has been one side adventure that I just could have done without. So, but outside of that, it's good to know that everybody's here having fun and talking about Babylon 5, which is really going to really help me get past my sour, salty mood. So, speaking of egos, way to go there, Joss Whedon. But anyway,
Oh no! I gotta hear this now. I've been seeing a trend. What the hell did Joss Whedon do?
oh, you haven't heard? Oh,
No, I
okay.
haven't. Yeah, it's
Let's go ahead and put a hold on the program for the next 30 seconds. Ready? He
30
decided he's going to give an interview to New York Magazine talking about his side of the story. And basically, he's decided to lay blame at the entire Justice League cast. And also kind of sow the seeds that the real problem with everything was kind of wink, Zack Snyder's fault. Dude, really?
Right.
Oh, man. I mean, the cojones on this dude. You know what? Some free advice, Josh. You know, if I were your media relations person, I would have just said, shut the F up if you're going to criticize Zack Snyder right now for anything. In fact, don't even talk about the Justice League cast. Just tell people, hey, I'm still around. I'm newly married. Yeah, that's the other thing in this article. He got married again. And, you know, he's ready to go to work. And there you go.
So in other words, he copped out and is like a year late from the Zack Snyder stuff with G&G and decided to jump that train and start it up again, pretty much.
Well, you know, he doesn't want to answer any questions about like why HBO took a show away from him, or why everybody
or Gadot talking about being forced in the closet and stuff like that.
Oh, why Gal? Well, pretty much everybody in the cast has said something bad to say, including Jeremy Irons. Now he's going to talk stuff about that entire cast, and also not even really discuss or go into detail why the entire Buffy cast and Angel cast have decided to, you know, go against him now, including many of the writers and producers on that show. So this is all Zack Snyder's fault. That's right. Okay. If he was able to concoct all of this, then way to go, Zack. But I don't think so.
So he has a case of TZSS, total Zack Snyder syndrome.
Something like that.
Oh, come on, that was a good
Well,
one.
he'll be lucky if he has a reasonable job after this because of all the now more validated accusations. You got one person, who was it? The first one who fell. I don't remember his name. He played Cyborg.
Oh, Ray Fisher.
Ray Fisher.
The first one that had the gumption to stand up, and people started pointing the fingers at him instead of where they belonged, and then it snowballed. So
hold on. I gave him a quote for you right here. In a length fleet, where is it? I don't threaten people. Who does that? Whedon told New York, English is not her first language, and I tend to be annoyingly flowery in my speech. That's a load of bullshit. Whedon said he told Eldor that she would have to tie his body to a railroad track before he would cut a scene she wanted removed, and that Gadot misunderstood as Whedon threatening to tie her to a track instead. Gadot's response to the story was, I understood perfectly. Oh, shit, dude, you know exactly what you're talking about. You're trying to say it's not how it went down. You just pretty much admitted it. Holy shit.
Yep.
Well, and again, I've often pointed out when I do Pop Culture Minefield and other shows, I've kind of learned this from Cameron Pasha. It's who you don't hear at all in this article. Okay, there were a lot of other things that came out, especially from the Hollywood Reporter when they did their overview months later after the release of Justice League. And one of the things they pointed to was the fact that Joss himself was upset because Warner never gave him time to make the movie the way that he wanted. So he was short on time, short really on help. You notice he doesn't say anything about anybody of the upper management of Warner Brothers. So this is an attempt to basically reposition himself as we are getting closer and closer to that big, nice, beautiful red wedding that'll soon be happening at Warner Brothers when David Zaslav comes in. So somebody's trying to reposition themselves enough to get more work.
Someone else did this not too long ago, not in an interview, but tried to pass the buck. It's like what politicians do when they realize they might lose the election or their party might get like diminished. They try to jump and then be like on the side of, it's all that person's fault. Like that's how Canadian politics has been running the last few months. And it's just like, what the fuck? Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if this was something that he was behind the scenes getting a lot of pat on the backs from various people at Warner Brothers, like Toby.
Hamada?
Well, Hamada's got no chance, and Hamada wasn't there when all this was happening. I'm sure Hamada's cheering, but Toby could be one of the people that could be cheering him on to do this, as well as Jeff Johns and a few other people who actually worked on those films. Okay, so this could be something along those lines where several people who actually had a hand in making the disastrous decisions that led to Joss Whedon's version could be telling him behind the scenes, yeah, dude, we support you. We got your back, man. We got you way back. So, I mean, this is the gift that keeps giving. And it's New York Magazine is where the original article is. They do an entire piece on him. Yeah. And I'm just saying that's delusional.
Keith, I did something quickly while you were talking about this, and I think this will sum it up pretty quickly. And Mountains, I see your comment. Ladies and gentlemen, Joss Whedon is the douchebag of the day.
No debate.
There you go. I'll send it to you later. Does that work for you, bro?
Oh, that almost makes a lot of the unusual kicked in the back type stuff that I've been dealing with lately worth it. But yeah, send it to me. I love it. It's great.
All right. Thank you. I'm glad you love it. Yeah. But yeah, we've had a lot of douchebag stuff happening recently. We're going into pop culture before we delve right into Babylon 5. I know it's been talked to death that we can talk like literally G4 F themselves on their magical reboot. That's a gift in itself. It's like for some reason, right in the mid-Januaries, the New Year's implosions happen. It's like I had a resolution, and then I opened my mouth, and then I went down.
That's kind of what everyone experiences. They say, I'm going to go to the gym for 2 weeks, and then they implode. So it just seems to trickle through everything now.
I'm just glad I bought some popcorn because I'm sitting back watching it all.
You make a new hashtag, blame Joss. Hashtag blame Joss, or blame Whedon.
Yeah, what would possess someone in that particular position that he found himself in to want to blame a guy who basically lost his daughter? Yeah. That he was behind all of the mess that went on behind the scenes with what he was doing. That right there, that tells you the mentality that you're dealing with.
Just with an ego that won't allow him to take blame for anything.
Wasn't that exactly what you guys were talking about when I jumped in? So anyway, I mean, what really hurts is the fact that I really did like this guy. I really did like Joss Whedon before all of this, and then started hearing about all of this icky stuff. And, geez. That's too much,
You guys
man.
are talking about the writer that probably like leaked it. It's probably Tim Minear.
We're talking somewhat about it. I mean, the big thing is he opened his mouth. You know, he gave an interview to New York Magazine talking about his side of the story. And you know what? History and the truth aren't really backing up a lot of what he's talking about. But I'm pretty sure certain powerful friends of his, especially those at Warner Brothers, will be willing to help him where they can. But for the most part, he really is trying to salvage what is left of his career. You know, if you really wanted to have a major thing pop up in this article that nobody was expecting, try to get someone like Alan Horn to make a comment, or Kevin Feige, or any of the cast members of the Avengers. You know, so
technically, that's Gadot right now giving Joss Whedon that look, like, because Joss has spoken very bad Mollari, and Delenn is like, no, you can make fun of him, just do it all over the White Star. I don't care. He's an idiot.
Anyway, let's get back to Babylon 5. That's much happier stuff.
Well, right now we were talking about the summoning and the fact that Ivanova is trying to learn Mollari and sucks at it. Marcus is not hesitantly, is actually overly saying, I need to help you because you'll fuck shit up, not trying to be mean about it. We're seeing Jakar currently is dressed as a jester and we're hearing rumors of ships approaching Babylon 5, as well as people are going out to find the ship from rumors of people who found a derelict Star Fury, also known as Garibaldi.
What?
Is that right?
Amazing. That's it. I mean, again, as always, all of you have done a phenomenal job. So I'm always honored to be amongst your presences. So great episode, great cast. I could get away with saying that about any episode, but especially this one, the summoning. It's season 4.
Yeah. We have a $2 super sticker from Mr. Chickle Trunk, who will hopefully join us in the future when he's not so busy with work, because real responsibilities come in. And I will drop 3 super chat videos, because also I want to say thank you to Mary's Game Room and Mark the Infinitely Tired for upgrading their membership to the channel. Thank you for supporting my fat ass. So the first one up. No. Give me money. Give me money. And this one's for Mark.
Has made some bad choices.
And this one's for Mary.
Captain Murphy.
Hi.
Hi. Now, sir, why do you think I should choose you to father my baby?
Huh?
Well, that's pretty much covered up. So, Keith, I didn't want to cover these last week, so we postponed. How did you like these episodes, and especially with the summoning, because we're getting a return, even if, especially your first time watcher, you don't expect it until it gets to the final part of the episode. But season 4, you've been waiting for since we've started this with season 2, so you must have like your hands like rubbed down to the point where they're bone.
You know what? This is, again, this entire season 4, is nothing more than just pretty much stepping on the gas. I mean, it's all good stuff, but stepping on the gas and just, this is all nothing but good stuff from here on out. And yes, there is someone coming. Well, phrasing. Yes, there is someone that will be revealed in this episode. That is going to have a hand in how all this plays out. I loved this episode when I first saw it. Again, there's just something about the way that even episodes that are quote unquote meant to just kind of be like middle of the road or what you're not expecting episodes to play out so much better. And again, this is something that lesser shows should learn from, and especially all those who happen to be writing for, I don't know, Star Trek Discovery, need to understand. Sorry, neighbors. Need to understand about, good character development and good storytelling. that doesn't try to use the magic box. So mystery box. I'm sorry. So
yeah, well, mystery box, yeah, it gets abused to the hell. But the thing is, it's not just writing the good story, writing the good characters. You got to make sure that the actors themselves even have charisma on the set. I don't care if they're assholes off the set. If they can get along on the set and at least portray the characters they were literally hired for, because technically it is a job, they can sell the characters. Like we've all seen, like when it comes to wrestling or anything else, like, oh, we love this person or we love this person in the show. And then you mean real life, like, wow, you're still a dick. I'm with my life. But yeah. And
I was telling Steven before the show started that it has one of my favorite lines in Babylon 5, all of Babylon 5, where they're having that big rally. Sheridan comes up and, sorry, Captain, we thought you were dead. I was. But better. I love that.
It's kind of like the Foundation in Fortnite just last season.
Really?
Wonder where they got the idea from.
Yeah.
People are leaving. You mentioned Fortnite, everyone just left. What the hell?
Holy.
But yeah, so pretty much White Star. And Marcus is going with Ivanova. We've already covered that. And then it switches out to the Centauri Guardians, right? And it's we all know about the deal with Jakar, Londo, about the whole like, I will promise to save your people if you do this, like the whole thing that's going down. And we're starting to see the insanity of the god lust that Cartagia has. He really wants to be a god. He wants people to revere to him. He wants to be ultimate power. And he has already made decisions to side with Shadows, having them make a base and a landing point on Centauri Prime. We're watching Mr. Morden, who has been nuked, by the way, slowly healing from the nuke without the use of an Indiana Jones 5 fridge. Don't try to grasp how that happened. And with all the things that happened previously, we now have Zach saying, I got the information. I want to go check to see where Mr. Garibaldi is. And everyone is trying to find the missing parts of the crew, of the command staff in general. And the person who's getting it the worst right now, it's literally Jakar. But from that, the two people getting it worse after Jakar isn't even Garibaldi. It's Vir and Londo. This is Londo's turning point of his Centaur entity. I don't know how you say humanity with Centaur. So whatever. You know what I mean. He's starting to come about that his choices and sacrifice.
His Centaurity?
What?
His
Now we're just gonna
Centaurity?
try and fix this.
What?
Like, you know how you'd say humanity? I said his Centaurity.
I am smiling and nodding with agreement right now.
Just try to do what you tried to do.
I know I fucked up. That's why I stopped smiling and nodding. So like that's how I did sound. Okay, good. I'm not crazy. It's all I get what you're saying. Yeah, but yeah, and like honestly, I love this episode because it's just we get a madman, we get devotion to friends and allies. It's all over the place. And like who said it? Someone actually said it before. Of course, as we know, season 4 literally has 2 seasons worth of main story. It does, because there's so much built in, and we're not even getting that now today with shows like Keith was saying with Star Trek Disease. It's just not worth it. But do you guys have any favorite moments as we're getting up to this point? Because I can read the whole like itinerary of what happened. I think this is also the first time I get to see Lita's gills for the first time, like in full effect and moving, right?
Mm-hmm. You can tell she's getting very overwhelmed with this.
Kosh 2?
Yeah, Kosh 2.0 that is more malevolent.
Well, earlier she had literally risked her life to get reattached to the Vorlons, so to speak, to go to their homeworld, to do everything to be close to Kosh. And now all of that, since Kosh is gone, is betrayed. They're cruel. They don't care about her. She's been used and hurt, physically hurt.
Yeah. And the thing is like she actually says this to Kosh 2.0 is like, you feel cold and distant. The other Kosh at least seemed like they had care or some type of attachment to humanity and the other races. You have none of this. And it gets to the point like, I demand some respect. And it's like, he just bitch slaps her to the floor and tortures her brain. And you can see it. Like, her acting in this was great. I'm going to give a credit that the acting in this was great with her and the way she was.
Who's like Tosh Turner?
A lot of that is really, again, it's 2 seasons worth of stuff in 1 season, but it's mainly because they actually thought, and rightly so, that they were going to get canceled at the end of the season. And it was just easier to try to get to that particular endpoint before, that way the story could be told. Fans have been sticking with this show up to this point. If they had ended this show where Warner Brothers had decided to end it, you still would have had, if they had taken their time, you would have been missing a good part of the story.
Yeah. So
it was easier just to sort of combine everything into 1 season. But that also creates, I'm jumping way ahead here, but it does work out good for those of us that are fans. Okay. It is really good for us to see what they were able to just stuff into this 1 season, but it really is 2 seasons worth of stuff in 1 season. It's amazing.
Well, that's true, because he thought they were done at 4 seasons when his story was 5 seasons. So he tried cramming it all into 1 shot. He did a good job too.
Yeah.
Mounds of Elysium says it's an interesting contrast. Cartagia gave the shadows a base on Centauri Prime, while Emperor Thurin died just as his prime minister was negotiating with the Rangers to build a base instead.
Is
that from the books?
No, that's actually from the show. When you find out the Rangers, the one base that got surrounded by the mines.
Yeah.
Sorry about the dogs, but we first meet. What's his face? Dang it, he's right there on
Marcus.
Marcus, yes. Sorry, names and me just don't get along anymore. But that's what that whole thing is. That's a Centauri base set up by the previous prime minister, allowing them. And the previous prime minister was trying to make, emperor was trying to make peace with the Jakar species.
Narns.
And then you switch to the next one. We're going to wipe out that species. We're going to turn totally to the dark side. So yeah, they are complete contrast. He's absolutely right. You be quiet, dog.
I gotta also give credit to this episode and the intro for this, where they had each actor do a different line. It was the Year of Fire, it was the Year of Sadness. I think that is my favorite opening intro when it comes to dialogue, the way it happened. I loved how each one did a different part, and it was showing that each one was affected a different way. And I think the lines lined up to their character within the show for this year.
Yes. Just wait until you see, though, the beginning of season 5. Season 5 for a lot of people is a lot of odds and ends, but I think the credits for season 5 are also up there with these, so.
He's nuts.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Shadow Cabinet.
It's the stereotypical perfect bad guy, and he just needs a twirly mustache and it'd been perfect.
And a railroad track and some rope.
Yes.
A damsel in distress. And she's good to go.
Well, what do you think Vir is? He's totally is the damsel in distress.
I think he's more of the passive aggressive in distress, because he's stuck in between Cartagia and Londo, and he can't do anything except the better of the worst. You know what I mean, though?
Well, he doesn't. It seems like he would rather be straightforward and just do what Londo has planned, but Londo has to play politics and walk around, and that seems to be. I mean, it all works out in Londo's favor, kind of enough. But it's like Vir wanted it to be done quicker.
And Tim's Talk jumps in with 2 different shows or movies: Cobra Kai rules, O'Doyle rules, and Babylon rules. Just drugs. Just drugs.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tim.
I always looked at Vir. He was the guy who was not. just a moderate to lower family, barely got called to help out an ambassador that nobody want, and he's getting a crash course into this is your government. Open your eyes. And he's just overwhelmed at seeing how many people lie, cheat, steal, backstab, and put an insane guy in as emperor.
Yeah, like he wants to get to it and do the right thing, but he has to participate in Londo's dance, which he knows oh too well.
Well, and Robert Krimmer was an interesting guy to meet. I had the opportunity to experience him over 2 days, and an interesting actor. Interesting guy. That was really my one big question to him, was asking, how do you play someone that out of their mind? And his response was it's basically you're doing everything that society and knows will tell you shouldn't be doing, yet you're doing it freely, almost gleefully. It shouldn't even be really special. It should just be what you do. Just let loose and let go like that. And it's like, wow.
I honestly think he could have shown his sanity a lot easier if he had his own Babylon Twitter account and all he did was singing Imagine in black and white. Villain. Bad taste right there. Vir starts out as the innocent abroad, and as Londo says, somehow manages to maintain a degree of that innocence. He does, and what Arwen said before about the line being crossed, we get to see that line being crossed. When Lily's talking to Morty, he's like, I can't wait till I look out in the cornfield and see your head on a pike, and then I can wave at you like this. And I'm like, I like you, Vir, but I'm going to stand over there until you're calming the fuck down. I'm out. I'm just going to have a Sunday and relax. He was, oh my God. I love Vir for that part. That is my favorite part of Vir, because that's where Vir you see the quiet ones, the passive ones, the ones that don't like conflict, are the ones that have the darkest thoughts sometimes, I think.
Oh yeah, well they're the most dangerous people to piss off. Are the calm ones, the passive. Yeah.
Keith.
Hold on, can I do a Campia moment for a minute there? Why is there no bulge? That's a Spider-Man joke. Yeah.
Look at Toby's package.
Not leggings.
Look at Cartagia's package at the royal package.
Yeah, they have tentacles, remember? They come out their back and butt.
What?
They have 6. Who said
yeah, but
have a package in front?
So it's like a plumbus?
Never mind, didn't mean to break you. I know you're from Canada.
No, because all of a sudden I just pictured the alien from Species, but with the Centauri haircut. And I agree, he shouldn't be wearing white while doing that. He's so nuts. He's even giving the blood water to the plants, going, "Oh, they can use it." I'm like, "Yeah, that's exactly what they want. Narn blood for underwater."
The flowers grow.
Oh my God, these people were nuts today. Archer says, I kind of wish JMD had done a sort of second string team with Vir and Lennier. I'm not doing that rhyme ever again. Possibly including the Toth. Lifestyles of the Vir and the Lennier. Yeah, okay.
Don't be like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
Archer also meant JMS, so I don't know who JMD is, but he meant JMS. For fuck's sakes, you got it right, bro. You got it right. But yeah, they're nuts. I don't know.
What if he looks at Narns as fertilizer?
And this is where we start realizing that the Kosh is not only a dick in her mind, but dick in her the way she lives. And Lita can't have any possessions in the room except for a bed. If you didn't care at all about someone, why are you going some other way to punish him? Do you think the new Kosh is punishing her because of his distaste for everyone else?
Possibly. Just that he may just be that draconian compared to the previous one.
Treats them like all other species. They're just pets to be trained.
I think he's angry because they let the other Kosh die.
Well, I don't think it's that the other Kosh died. I think they can't find the rest of his essence, and that's the whole big thing. I think there's a sect of the Vorlons. They don't approve of the essence being inside any other being but another Vorlon. Is that about right? Or am I wrong on that assumption?
I think that's an assumption I never heard of.
Okay, it's an assumption then, because I feel like if we get into the episode, he was very distasteful. Remember how she started telling him where the rest of Kosh was, and he got you could see how his nonchalant anger was more anger. It sounded like distaste.
It may be that they have different views among themselves. So the previous Kosh doesn't see a problem with intermingling and improving upon species because that's how humans became psychic in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And then he disagrees with all of that more progressive view, and he's therefore more strict and draconian.
I always took it more simple as the fact that there's a part of Vorlon society, whether person or otherwise, that another species has and has not let it go. It's imprisoned.
Yeah.
Well,
It's not that we use other species. It's the fact that particular one isn't surrendering the part of Vorlon that they should have a long time ago.
well, how could they do that if they don't know how? Or why wouldn't the part of the Vorlon leave?
I don't know, but that's just how I took it is all.
Getting back. Yeah, I can see that. We see here Zach. Zach has pretty much taken the information that's been found in previous episodes, and he's out looking in the coordinates for Garibaldi. And not only does he find a weird ship with Garibaldi in it, he tries to initiate peaceful surrender to get the ship, but it ends up with it just jettisoning a life pod and then self-destructing. But everyone else in his squad pretty much thinks we didn't hit that hard. Maybe we did hit something we just don't know about. But before even that life pod is jettisoned, we get a close-up of Garibaldi, and we hear that voice we've heard before start to initiate program. And at that point, we're realizing that Garibaldi is more than meets the eye. Sorry, Transformers, didn't mean to do that. But this is where we're going to start seeing, is Garibaldi still Garibaldi, and what is going to happen? Because he has been missing. And I think the way whatever the program was initiated, it was a different style of treatment than what we're used to seeing with the shadows and the neck of the scarring and all that stuff.
He's been Talia'd.
Yeah. Spoilers.
There's the fishing base.
There's her gills, ladies and gentlemen, right there. Ulkesh is Kosh 2.0. Okay. But do you guys have any favorite parts so far of this episode? Like things that stuck out to you when we're getting through it, besides the end? Because I know Lennier is warning, and other Minbari are warning Delenn that the other races are getting kind of fit up and they want to throw this kind of protest down or incite this big gathering to show that the Minbari have been secretly, connivingly holding back the truth of what's happened. And it's like they have no faith in the Babylon 5 and the whole aligned worlds because of one person being gone. It's like they can't even put faith in that another person can. They're all there to work together, but they're not. It's like they haven't reached that point of acceptance that it takes all of them to stand up to the shadows and soon to be Vorlons, and they would rather run away. And that bothers me when they portray this stuff a lot. Anyone else?
You know what? For me, in this particular episode, again, I think we hit the nail on the head earlier. While you do have what's going on with Babylon 5 and everything concerning that of importance, I think for me, it's all the Centauri stuff. It's all of the Emperor Catalgia stuff, because that's in the mouth of madness area right there. When this episode first aired, I had never seen anything like that. I'd never seen a situation go, from a group of people that were seemingly, we thought were just hell bent on bringing back the old days, and now you got this guy in there that is just, he's just not all there, clearly. And he's got all this power. And wow, just all that stuff is just in powerful for me to watch. It overpowers the episode almost. So
I give credit though to Jakar in this whole episode, because he is keeping his pride and his principle true to dear. Like he won't say a word. He's not giving what Cartagio wants, and that in itself is a win. Hey Daryl, how you doing, brother? He's literally not giving in. He is not giving what he wants. He's not giving into a madman, and I love this about him, that his principles and where his line in the sand is probably far beyond any other person we would ever meet in real life to a degree. And it doesn't take until the 39th or 40th lash he finally gives noise. And that's even after Londo is pleading with him, and he's trying to make Londo understand that you don't know what that means for me to give up that. It is like he is that means giving up the last of himself, the last of the Kali, the last of whatever he has made a promise to himself. But I believe in those lashes, and that this is where this also the start of his rebirth.
Like one more would have killed him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was 39.
It was 39. Yeah.
39. And it was a brutal scene. The first time I've seen it, and when I watch it again, it's just your eyes just glue to it, and you're watching Londo just going, dude, do it. He's almost breaking character of what he has planned, and it's heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, I think this is where these moments, these episodes, is where their friendship becomes a friendship. It's as much as you don't want to call it that, it is. It is,
and that's the power of great screenwriting and having incredible actors. You had pointed that out before. It's something that's pretty much obvious to all of us that watch that show. There's one of the reasons why you have a lot of shows nowadays that don't do as well, because they don't believe in that for whatever reason. That you've got to balance it out like that. You've got to have incredible talent in front of the camera and equally incredible talent and dedicated talent for the writing. You just need it. Star Trek Discovery.
Oh my God, dude, stop. You're going to scare people away if you keep that up.
I'm sorry. Picard.
That's okay. Oh, dude. All right, Keith, take over now. You let's give your feelings on the episode, since we've missed you for 2 weeks. Since you want to throw down the ultimate horrible Star Trek.
You know what? There's not much to throw down with, because there isn't that much there. Okay, look, my other brother JMS made some really salient arguments. The reason why he should be the vice president of whatever they got left of Star Trek, and I kind of agreed with him with a lot of that. But personally, I could never sink that low and do that to myself to want to work with those people. There's no quality left. They have no pride.
Daryl, you can get your refund from Keith's pockets, because that's him.
Yes, it's me saying all that. Lifelong Star Trek fan. So, but that's also what JMS is. So, when you see something like Babylon 5, or even the Orville, you have to understand these are all fans of Star Trek, and I think it makes them kind of sick to see what's going on with Star Trek now. So
they act like past Star Trek doesn't exist, and everything they do now is the first time ever.
One of many things I have against them, but that,
it goes against what Star Trek was.
And I you know what? I agree. There is only one Star Trek as far as I'm concerned. It went from 1966 to 69. Everything else is pretty much just a spinoff or a sequel, of that.
Yeah.
Or as I like to call it, the Berman shows and the K-Trek shows.
You mean the Cry and Compliment Hair Hour? Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah. I can't even watch this season, even to torture myself. Yeah, March 10th. Yeah, that's right, Terry. Orville season 3. I saved all those seasons so I can watch them all.
Oh, geez.
What?
You know what? Here's the other thing. Jon Favreau, I think, definitely deserves some measure of recognition for the Orville because he at least helped get the show launched. You know, this is someone I think who himself kind of saw, you know, what was going differently with Star Trek and decided to work on the show. You know, Seth MacFarlane really gathered an incredible group of people around him. And it's kind of sad when you see shows like The Expanse do what they do and then, you know, go and leave. Or even Lost in Space do what they do and give a master class on how to revive an IP, yet find a way of making it in its own way exciting and different and fun and something that you can actually watch with the entire family without having to drop a bunch of F-bombs to create a separate program that you can now watch with the kids.
Or insult the original creators by making select. Sorry about that, Jay. Go ahead.
Nope.
Go ahead.
No, I was jumping on with Keith. I was just gonna say that I think Battlestar did it the best.
Yes, Battlestar was very good. Very good. And again, it knew what it was. You know, they had an idea. It worked for what they were doing. You're either going to create something that is a little more adult in nature, but is still solid as far as the acting and really solid as far as the writing, or you're going to create something for everyone. And Lost in Space was a concept that I just don't think could have easily handled being more adult in the way that it was done. You know, I think it was handled very well by the people doing this version. And I love where that series ended. They could have easily have started another television series from where they ended the show. And people probably would have been fine with it. Still would have been better than all of K-Trek. So anyway, that's it. Soapbox. I'm done. I'm now off that soapbox.
So we finally see Jakar choose to break. We see it in his face, the way Star Trek is broken down before Keith says it. I'm going to cover that now. Where we have Delenn and Lennier on the promenade floors, I'm going to call it, and we're starting to see a gathering because it's been told to them. And meanwhile, we still have a ship on approach. Garibaldi's in medbay. Franklin has done scans on him to make sure that he doesn't have the scarring or any type of manipulation in the back of his neck that we've seen with not only Sheridan's wife but the rest of the Icarus crew and etc. And he finds nothing.
Didn't even do the prostate exam though. That would have been...
Oh, you can do that to him later if you want. I'm not going to be around for that part ever.
They're going to bring in a specialist, Dr. Jellyton.
God, they still see our TVs back then. I totally forgot about that. How weird it looks.
It's the 90s, my man. 90s.
Then, oh my God. And honestly,
you expect your RoboCop guy to pop up there and go like, I'll buy that for $1.
That's RoboCop. It's not even in the same universe. What the hell?
That expression works everywhere.
I don't know. I don't really walk into a church and ask for communion going, I buy that for $1 and then take a sip of wine and eat my bread. I don't think it works everywhere.
Hey, you know what? There are certain groups of people that could be one of the funniest things you could say walking into a room.
Like 3 nards walk into a bar.
Oh, that would be fun. I think a Narn bar should be a thing.
Like Nanaimo bars, we can call them Narnama bars. After the 39th bite, they scream. Oh, sorry.
God.
So as you see on the screen, as I'm getting darker and darker with my humor and people are unsubbing like motherfuckers, it's all good. I'm just fucking around and joking because we have that thing. the Drazi ambassadors we can see here is pretty much declaring that we cannot allow anyone to attack Zahadum because they don't want the shadows on them right now. It's pretty much out of fear. There's a crowd just gathering around. He's trying to say that the Minbari have been hiding things and all that shit. And while all this is happening, we get pans left and right to just like a first person view of someone walking. And we don't know who it is yet. Pretty much if you've seen the show, we already know who it is. They're still yelling at the Minbari. Eventually, he's like pointing at Delenn, like, someone sees her, silence her. And all the mob's going at her. And you got Lennier busting out the crouching tiger, hidden Minbari moves, just keeping her safe.
It's like a turtle.
So what?
The alien, he kind of looks like a turtle.
I would call it Vulcan light, not Vulcan light, Klingon light.
I bet this is where Mandalorian got the Luke Skywalker moment, was from this. I think about it.
Maybe. But
the similarities are spooky.
See, what bothers me the whole time they're freaking out on the thing. How do they not know? How do they even not think about the fact that there could be even a shadow operative literally in that crowd watching the ascension happen?
Mm-hmm.
And they don't even think that they're showing their cards because they're acting out of emotion rather than thinking. I don't know the words for it. I just don't. I like the way they acted. I just didn't like what they were doing. It was just like, y'all are just throwing all your cards on the table of how actually scared you are of the shadows, and that in itself already makes them win in a certain way, because fear will make you act out in ways that you usually won't, because you usually will think ahead of time. Fear can be a great thing, but it can also be a horrifying thing depending on how much control you have of yourself. And here, trying to incite whatever it was on their promenade was just bad taste. And then trying to go after another ambassador, trying to silence her by using a mob. Dude, we've all dealt with mobs lately on Twitter and everything else. It's just like,
it has its parallels in real life.
It does. This show has a lot of parallels in real life. And I want to get, that right. Go back.
There it is.
There. Stop, you stupid. That look right there, ladies and gentlemen. When we get Sheridan back and you see the Drazi's genitals hide right up back into the other Drazi's purse, right there. He was like, shit. And that shows how much faith they don't have in the unaligned worlds. And fucking Sheridan just looks pissed. He's like, I'll knock you the hell out. But he's not there for that. And that's when even Garibaldi's like, oh shit. And you get that close up of him for a second. And it's just, this is the best part of the scene. This is the one part I want to talk about the whole episode, the return of Sheridan. Because Delenn is shocked, and it's no longer about mourning. It's like, oh my God. And then the other races are kind of like, they jump the gun and they're realizing, oh, we're going to have to deal with this later. It's just, it falls like dominoes in such a good manner. I can't complain. Yes? No?
I agree. I agree.
I talk too much. You guys can talk too. It's a panel. I feel like I'm just verbal diarrheaing all over the place.
I see. Everyone there knows that he was the only human, and probably every other race, that actually defeated any Minbari. He did. And now he comes back from beating the biggest bad of their galaxy, the Shadows. So don't mess.
Pretty much. I mean, his standing right now is he is now right up there as pretty much a living legend at this point. You know.
Lysium says, I actually thought the openness of the descent is in keeping with the Drazi character. I can give you that. I just don't like it. But I'm not saying you're wrong either. They're very upfront when they are pissed. Yeah. But were they pissed or were they acting out of fear? That's the difference, though, because they're more fearful of the shadows and repercussions of what the shadows might do than what they could do. And I think that's I think the line falls either way. So I like that comment, Lucium. I really do. Scarecrow is not messing around. No, he is not. But we get Sheridan back. Lorian's in the background, and it's pretty much one of those things where it wraps up kind of like, oh, happy ending, but we know it's not. We know Jakars and Londo are still dealing with shit on Centauri Prime. Is it this episode or the next one that we start hearing Cartagia is willing to sacrifice the whole planet just for godhood?
It's the next one.
It's the next one. Okay, so spoilers. Sorry, guys. He should have done a cameo. I guess she should. And honestly, I think it's the best thing ever. But with this return of Sheridan, we're not getting a full story because no one knows what actually happened in Zaha Doom. And we'll find that in the next episode as we go into me trying to remember the name of it. But this was a good episode.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, bro. It's open forum. I mean...
It's falling towards
Apotheosis.
Thank you. Apotheosis. There will be a test.
But before we do that, and we get into this woman who's about to have a big fall, out of 10, what would you give this episode? Because for me, it's up there with the 8s. It really is.
I agree. It's definitely an 8. 9, really. It's incredible performances.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Parrot Head. We've been covering the episodes every week. I'm so sorry. Not sort of sorry at all. I'm sorry. No. Sheridan has defeated Membari, Centauri, Shadows, Earth Force, to name a few in battle. He is also one of the few to openly challenge the Vorlons to their face and not back down. That's true. He was thrown down by Kosh. Standing against the wall. So, yeah, I give him that one.
Well, I mean, desperate times and that. So.
All right. So you're an 8, Keith. What about you, Adega?
I'll give it a 9.
All right. Because your favorite line's in it, right?
No, that whole scene was a good setup. And like you said, even Garibaldi, when he saw him come off the boat, is like, oh my word.
Mm-hmm. Kate?
7.5, 8-ish. I like when Ivanova comes up to Sheridan and hugs him. It's fun seeing how they have a very sibling-like relationship, even though they're not siblings.
Mm.
They might as well be. I mean,
Right,
seriously.
exactly.
Might be in the reboot. You never know.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
And Keith already gave an 8, unless he has something else to add.
Mm-mm.
And then we have Monkey Jeebus.
Like an 8+ to 9.
That's cool. That's a good way to look at it. God, I remember this episode. It's one of my favorites.
I said it means gives it. I'm late again.
Yeah, where is Memes by chance? It's way past an hour. So now we're on to episode 4. While Memes figures out time in his multiverse.
Maybe Memes is in a cocoon.
What?
Be right back, everyone.
Okay. We're now at halftime, so grab a drink, grab a soda, grab a snack as we wait for Memes to show. Okay, next Christmas, no one gets a vacation. We're going right through Christmas. I don't care if Babylon 5 is on Christmas fucking Eve. I don't care. Everyone's like, ah. Hey, Zax, how you doing? Look, there we go. Hey, everyone. Come on. There we go. Hey, Zax.
Christmas would be next year, not this.
No, I mean this Christmas. It's next sometime. I know.
There's
There's no hiatus next holidays. I don't care if it's Valentine's Day, Libertarian Day, Easter, Halloween. I don't care no more. Y'all are gonna get your card.
That's
funny.
assertive.
It is assertive. 39 for everybody. So we're in this episode and it opens up with this woman going, can someone please help me? Can someone please help me? It's the normal trope at Black Friday at a Walmart. One woman falls down, gets trampled by everyone else, and then all of a sudden parting of the seas of people as I drop my phone on the floor. That was not what I meant to do at all. I think that's how I broke it.
Maybe they heard PlayStation 5s are available.
I don't know. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I found the intro a little sloppy, like way too dramatic, and not exactly believable that she would be that overwhelmed and fall. And I don't know. It just didn't. Maybe it's the cinematography that doesn't make it feel believable, but I understand the setup.
But it's not believable. I agree.
It
It's
isn't.
not believable at all. It's like someone's doing improv for high school. That's how bad it was. Because even had the camera pan was looking down her, she's looking up like, "Can somebody please help me? How's there enough space for the camera? But you can't pull yourself up." And everyone's just looking around, looking down. Then they reused the same shot twice because you can see the black guy, right? He's sitting and he looks down, and then he goes, "Can someone please help me?" And then he does the same look down again. I'm like, "You lazy bastards!" And then it starts parting like the Dead Sea. Sorry, I'm using bad references right here because it's like this is the one that kind of bothers me. Yes, I understand Sheridan has come back from the dead and fought a lot of the greatest evils ever in here, but they're turning. It feels like they're doing a religious shot in a way, and it's like reaching out to help the single person. And I was just like,
not done well. Like it's
no,
like almost how poor it is. It's hard to distinguish whether or not it's supposed to be funny or if it's just poorly done.
She literally follows up after he picks her up and was like, oh, "It's you! You're him!" I'm like, I'm out. And if you haven't plugged your ears already, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the man, the myth, the almost blue eyes white dragon. Oh, please.
Though I know I should be wary, still I venture something scary. Ghostly haunting, I turn loose. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice!
Oh, and we're back in a new year, like we didn't even leave.
He's like you.
I'm only an hour and 6 minutes late and a little bit of change. These, see, exactly. Some things always stay the same, Stephen.
I'm sorry, I was in another multiverse where you arrived on time. What was that?
Oh, that's very far from where we are.
You're lagging out a little.
I know.
How you doing, memes?
I'm doing all right. How's 2022 treating everybody? We got lots of stuff and things going on. We are continuing on with our Babylon 5 quest. All while, apparently, the new multiverse of Babylon 5 is in the works.
In production. Yeah, we're currently on episode 4. So if there's anything you wanted to add about episode 3 with the summoning and the return of Sheridan, you have the floor, sir.
All I remember from that episode is everyone go back and forth. They're disagreeing about this. Oh, we should run. We'd fight. What's going on? And then right about some time, a certain set of feet start walking along the deck there. And all of a sudden, everyone's like, whoa, whoa. And basically they had the whole, oh, he's basically Jesus. Like moment. What's this thing? It's like, dude, man, literally went with his wife, who is no longer his wife, would become wicked evil because she's dead and controlled by a freaking machine. And then it gets to the point where it's like, oh, by the way, I gotta borrow these nukes. This is one of those don't ask, don't tell things. Yeah, and then he basically has his personal jet, like He-Man, into the Shadow Planet and go boom.
That was the White Star.
He survived! And he survived. Well, technically he died, but Lorian, he was chilling out, so he had some stuff and things. He tickled his midichlorians.
No, it's a space coma.
And
it was a healing coma.
Archer Collin jumps in going, Steven, oh, come on. There is no universe that would ever have that happen. I do agree. I think memes is late in every universe. The one constant in the universe is ruin
chicken. Everything. Well, that too.
Are things tasting like chicken?
Well, things taste like Swiss meatballs. I also enjoy chicken.
He likes balls and chicken. Why did you have chicken balls?
Hey, it's called popcorn chicken, my friend. I have very fond memories with some friends.
No, there's chicken balls too at Chinese restaurants.
Yep.
You can turn anything into a ball.
Oh, come on. You're telling me you don't want a bucket of chicken balls to dip in sweet and sour sauce and you just go to town?
I prefer my popcorn chicken and barbecue sauce. Thank you very much.
Could you imagine memes being called to do story time for a bunch of priests?
Yeah, Chick-fil-A and the Polynesian sauce.
Jack went up the hill. He had ulterior motives, see, because he liked Jill. I could see him doing stuff like that. Sorry.
The funny thing is that there's the actual... Go on, Kate.
like memes reading the book Go the Fuck to Sleep. It's a kid's book that's satirical and like 15 years old now.
So on the exact opposite end of the spectrum, there's a completely politically correct, basically all the fantasy stories. And Little Red Riding it is so fantastic. It's like, well, she was a woman, blah, 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 this, that. And oh my God, the turkey is growing even more hair. It's looking like Kramer. I apologize for my racism.
That's your face.
I look a little burnt.
Yeah.
It
reminds me of when I was like 10 years old. We went to one of my dad's reunions and I went to the beach and apparently I didn't have sunscreen on in the right place, but too soon.
It's not
Sheridan's
too soon.
back. Sheridan's back and everyone's like, oh my God, who the heck is that guy? But Sheridan's back.
I don't like his resting bitch face. It's really getting there. You know, like he's always looking pissed off. It's like, hey, Lorian, you gave me 20 years of life force. I'm gonna look angry every time some woman gets trampled in the promenade. It's always in the promenade.
Well, yeah, because he died.
So he just came back. He was resurrected back. He just pissed off.
Not everyone is happy when they come back to life.
Especially when you land on your face.
That is true. I'll give you
that. Especially when you didn't eliminate the enemy that you were trying to eliminate. You didn't quite finish the job. You didn't completely blow up the planet. You need more nukes.
No, but they took out the whole city. That was their main home base. They wiped that out.
Right. But there's something about a shattered planet. Maybe I've just watched too much Dragon Ball Z, and coincidentally, about 1 teraton yield of TNT in the right place will probably blow up the Earth. And Earth is actually Terra, but there's different amounts of R's.
I agree.
I should do story time, shouldn't I?
Yes.
Yeah.
You pretty much should, yeah.
The non sequiturs are legendary.
Kate, will you be my wing woman for story time?
I speak non sequitur very fluently.
Oh no, that's the point, because it's something that we could both derive some humor in, and other people might enjoy.
Yeah, maybe we'll see.
Keith, would you be my story man, wingman?
Well, he is the story man.
Keith already has to put up with us like 2 hours a week. That's
and
more
on Fridays.
Well, that's also true. But see, it's more dispersed on your other panels. You actually have like people in the industry and like people asking intelligent questions.
Did he just insult me?
I am projecting. No, because I feel bad because there's been a lot of good questions asked here.
Hey, I'm back.
Hi, Keith. Memes is here too. And
I know if it isn't Jason Momoa's little brother. Memes of destruction.
That might be the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me. Thank you, Keith. I will totally take that. But all I know is, did you hide Patricia Talman's gift?
You know what?
I feel like you had a bajillion other better things to do. I'm just guessing.
Watching sunsets and saying hello to whales.
Okay, you win.
Sorry I was gone so long. Just it was just some unusual person was looking in my windows. And I was just like, let me go talk to this person for a moment. So
wait.
All right then.
Wait, are you actually serious? Someone was looking in your windows? It wasn't just like Steven. Oh, okay. This is true. I can't account for when I'm asleep. Occasionally, I may slip through some dimensional rifts. Just like that. Usually not wearing a suit.
I'm just, I don't know. What the?
That worked on so many levels. Thank you.
You're welcome. You know, peeping and Tommy always goes good with Cabernet outside Straczynski's window, you know. Hey, I tried to cover. I know peeping is not what I should use. I'm sorry. I was talking about the marshmallow tree.
I forget a bunch of stuff, but 10.
Was it Backdoor Gary? Probably Zax. You never know. But yeah, so we were talking about the whole Messiah scene at the beginning of this episode, Keith, and the way it was, even Kate brought up, and I felt the same way. Maybe others, I don't know if they did too, but it felt kind of cheap in the way they did that scene, and they actually reused one of the shots, like word for word.
I'm probably going to factor this in that they were planning on like ending the series, most likely. Like that was probably within the realm there, so I give them a bit of a I hear what you're saying. It's like it literally seemed like the most stereotypical thing you could do, but then again, in a way, it's like, isn't that the easiest thing to do? That's you're not gonna and again, I realize it's probably like, all right, we need to do so much other stuff that it could have been better. I agree.
You can continue the conversation over back.
I just don't understand if it's supposed to be kind of funny or if the cinematography is that bad, because I didn't notice that they do reuse a scene, so then that lends credence to it being poor cinematography, and that's what makes it feel really cheap and awkward. But perhaps if it wasn't for that, it would have been a little more like, oh, this is what we're doing now, and like, oh, we all comprehend the setup to make Sheridan seem more than he is. So I don't know. It's hard to say. It's a total 2020 kind of thing. And
I prefer to think of it as sort of like changing how we view the character of Sheridan. You know, having seen the show a few times, how do I say this without spoiling anything for those that haven't seen it all the way through? There's a definite difference that this is definitely a life that from here on out, every moment is precious. He knows it. The audience knows it. And so there's a definite difference in the type of person that he is in that sense. He hasn't got time to fool around now. There are decisions that have to be made. Lives are in danger. Not that he wasn't that kind of person before, but there's something about losing your life and then getting it back that is meant to be a moment of change. And having Sheridan come back, there's an almost kind of like Arthurian way of doing things, you know, from here on out, that he's some kind of a living legend. And in many ways, you could make that same kind of argument about Luke Skywalker in so much as not so much having almost died as in having accomplished all these incredible things. You know, Sheridan is now a very rare person at this point within the galaxy. He has done all of these things that we've talked about. And he still has a few more things before him to get done. Except now we as an audience and Sheridan as a character know that there's also a time limit to that. Mm-hmm. So how do you think you would live your life differently if you only knew you had so many years?
To do as the best I could, and not for myself, but for everyone that I promised to begin with, like the aligned worlds, as we're going to see later on, not only in the episode, but in the season, that it's now everything or nothing, because 20 years isn't a long time.
No, it's not.
And that's not including, like Lorian said, that's not including disease, injury, or anything else, which could subside it to even less.
So it's like coffee's your friend, because you don't even want to really spend time sleeping. You know?
Yeah, I was going to say sorry to cut you off. I'd say the change was he kind of literally just went into like soldier mode, if you would. You said he was a living legend. So he's basically like Sephiroth, like when he was still a good guy.
Yeah.
I would agree with that, except in that scene there, I don't know if it's the director's fault or the actress's fault or both, but she overacted and it made it really.
Yeah.
It was almost like an intro from Pornhub. It's like, he's the one. Off come the panties.
I almost thought it was going like almost the most generic kind of like the Bruce Wayne, like the Duke. It's like, you know what's going to happen. It's going to happen exactly how you think it's going to happen, but you're still going to enjoy it. I thought they were kind of drawing on it. See, that's why it didn't really bother me. I'm like, all right, I know this is blatantly what it's going to be, but it's like, you're just doing it. It was a little played in, but
He should have taken out loans. I agree with you, Elysium. As many loans as possible.
You know what? That entire scene could have been played also in a very 90-ish way, you know, where she falls down, he helps her up, and then he turns to the camera. Have you been involved in an accident that wasn't your fault? Call 1-800-ambulance change. No. Okay. I'm sorry. I was going to make a really cheap joke there.
Here at Sheridan State, we too insure fallings on the promenade. Star Furies blowing out during mid-high jump gates, you know? Sign up now, get a free magnet. Yeah, it does look like a Vorlon. Also free curry shaped like a Vorlon. Coming soon. Thank you, Terry.
Right now, guys, like a mulberry juice.
I'm just, again, no show can be perfect.
No.
Even a show like this. But still, a lot better than any other aforementioned show that I've been dunking on lately. And that's as far as I'm going to go.
As I would like to say, on behalf of Keith and the Pop Culture Minefield, Star Trek Picard, Star Trek Discovery, The Expanse ended. Is that about right? Did I get it all? Sorry, what sound is like, my name is Esmeralda and I like to smoke.
Wow.
Wait a second. You're saying there's a whole bunch of folks that worked on a sci-fi epic that may happen to require some work?
They don't work. I'll give it that. It was classic 90s cheese. It was just, it was, I think, you know, those points where you rewatch a show or a movie and then that type of scene comes up and it just makes you turn your head away and going, oh God, you feel bad, not for the characters, but for the actors itself. Like, you know, it's part of that time, but you still shake your head.
I haven't watched something like that since like Infinity War. So to be fair, it's been a while for me. And it's like this first time. And again, I was on a binge mode. So I'm watching all these episodes. I'm like, it's one of those things where it builds you up and then you just keep on getting higher and higher levels, and I don't know how. Rosebud,
you know, for me it was like I just a couple weeks back I sat down to watch one of my favorite things from the 90s, the X-Files movie, the first one, Fight the Future.
Oh God, I think I didn't say the
that
second one
was actually good.
That was actually a very good.
Why did we never come back to that, really? Or at least
well, there's a reason why all the other films aren't as good. It's because, one, they shot that one while they were still shooting the series, and so it was pretty much everybody that was working on the television series worked on the movie. But the other thing for me, you had these cell phones that very 90s thing. It was just like, yeah, that doesn't look like any cell phone today. They obviously can't do a lot of research. I mean, you could do all sorts of funky things with cell phones right now that to anybody still in that was living in the 90s, it would seem like science fiction what we could do with our cell phones right now.
Dude, I remember pagers and stuff like that, or your beeper. Beeper. And then find a pay phone, or you could collect 1-800.
But you can build up a lot of suspense doing that. You can't do that now with cell phone technology. You know, you need to look something up. You need to figure out something. You don't have to do dramatic stuff where we got to go to the library. We got to go to this expert here. We got to do that. You can just look it up on your cell phone.
Literally like iPhones, you can make your short films just on an iPhone because of the camera technology built into their stuff. We're at that point, yeah. So I agree with that. A cell phone today, we look
Star Trek if you all the time.
Come on, Galactic Cruiser for F's sakes used an iPhone in their promotional commercial, playing it off as a holo device, selling a $4,000 a night shitty hotel where you're trapped in the dark because they blacked out all the fucking windows and put LED screens on. Let's go there.
You're in a box with a bunch of TV screens.
They don't have light bulbs?
No, they took out all the windows. They literally, I think they blacked out all the windows and replaced it with LCD screens, so it looks like stars and shit. So it feels like you're in a giant stationary hotel, but you're supposed to be on this magical cruiser that goes nowhere except the bankruptcy of your wallet.
Well, you don't have to go.
No, I know. I'm not going to. I'm not paying that much money. I don't like eating General Cho at another
restaurant.
That's a lot of money that you could. Yeah.
But Kathleen Kennedy thinks you should go if you're.
Well, she can fade out because I don't care. And she can fade into some reality.
But Bob Iger, believed that you would go. I mean,
JPEG is counting on you, Stephen.
You know what I'm counting on? Scratching my ass before I go to sleep tonight.
It should have been redesigned rather than secluding people and not really letting them leave.
Hey,
that's my thing. That's my thing.
If we go down this road, I'm going to start bringing up G4 tweets, and we can just go to town if you want to go.
They should turn into a shopping center. Shopping center, a few penthouse apartments, boom, you're done.
I can beat all of you. I promise.
Okay.
What?
This is real, and this has been. I've known of this for a long time because I'm a loser.
While that's happening, I'm going to wag my finger and tell every person in here who has a penis, you're bad. You're all horrible people. Why won't you look at me and call me bangable? I feel very disruptible right now.
Luke Skywalker's on Airbnb?
No. Oh, okay. Is it still open? It's West Texas. It's an off-grid Airbnb, and it looks like Tatooine.
Oh, I know that.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I've known this for like 10 years because I'm a loser.
I've seen this picture
really
before.
Cool.
That is cool.
Okay, you're not a loser. You are exceptionally cool. You're one of the coolest ladies out there. And you are a total authority. You are here ready to go every week when we do this show. And you're just all kinds of fun. You're good people.
Thank you.
I would like to quickly jump in and say Tickle Trunk has now tucked his penis. Now it's safe.
Wait. See, I would have gone with Kate. Kate is special, just like everyone here.
Turtle.
I like turtles.
Not that type of turtle memes.
Here we have Sneaky, Mr. Morgan.
They have heads in a shell.
Like, what do you mean I'm a shit face? What does that mean? Oh my god!
He looks like he has grayscale. Ew.
I wonder how that conversation for the makeup was. Like, so what are we gonna look like? A burn victim, but not a burn victim.
It looks like when you slow cook ribs in the oven for 5 hours. And
tinfoil. Oh, he's got.
What? Am I wrong?
He's got like the Two-Face look from where all the radiation hit him.
Kind of, but not really.
Oh.
I understand. I don't understand the cloak thing. I'm trying to figure out why he's dressed like one of the monks of the Fallout series. I believe in the radio.
I don't know. It's going from a suit to robe is a little weird.
No. In my opinion,
this is what Tuscan leaders look like.
Look at that face. He's like, I'm gonna get some. Look at that face.
Yeah, it's still a punchable face with all that makeup. So. Good acting.
Well, we can call him Brother Ugg.
He looks like a rib.
It looks like he is hiding from the Predator in mud.
That's not Sinclair.
Do not insult Arnold Schwarzenegger. I will come to your state. I swear to God.
Sheridan. Bob.
Morden was sensitive to light. The man is growing new skin, etc. Yeah, we know that. He just needs a back to tank. Boba, can you help him out?
Actually, he was doing a Crystallis thing and got mixed up with the Drazi, so this is what you get.
Really? I thought he was spending way too much time on a colored Vespa, and the sand got him.
Ivanova poured some booze after the party into his Crystallis.
What happened was the shadows were like, okay, Morton, you're going to stand right here. We're going to hold this giant magnifying glass against the sun, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, jeez.
What that smell? Some hair, some skin.
I've killed a lot of ants.
What was that?
I have committed genocide to creatures that crawl upon the earth.
You mean anticide?
Yeah,
Morton looks like a big Jawa.
No, I prefer an Ewok.
You
What the
the
hood,
baby
maybe,
walk.
but he's not Harry.
Hey, I'm a furry. Leave me alone.
And I'm sorry.
He's
I'm sorry for
not.
killing the fun to anyone in the chat. We're just having a go because it's been one of those weeks. Actually,
Yeah.
there's something about that makeup, especially the more extreme scene, that puts me in a mind of Delenn coming out of her chrysalis. That is true. It could be like that. We don't know how far the shadows have actually modified the crew from the Icarus, or why they look like chocolate coating peeling off a human being.
Yeah.
Hold on. Is it just me, or did Star Wars completely rip off like Darth Series from this? I mean, didn't this come out before, like the prequels and stuff, and that whole scene? This is the same thing.
Please don't insult Deadpool, but I get you, Lysium. I'll get you. We're gonna get you on next year.
I mean, it's like the first attempt at Deadpool, which was bad.
Yeah, but Ryan Reynolds still has a nice ass. Oh God, no! Why are we talking about the Wolverine Deadpool?
Hey, no, because it was the one time that frickin' they actually kept the same actor in the same role, but they made him the actual good character, and he totally made fun of it. The sheer fact that one of potentially 3 people, that may or may not include Ryan Reynolds, leaked this ass footage and memed this into reality is such a beautiful thing.
Yeah, but he spent 10 years to getting that to happen. He really did. Like, I was in high school when he was like, "We're doing this year." I'm like,
playing long game.
Maybe not this year.
Because remember, he had to get his vengeance. Hi, Tom.
Yeah.
You know what? I guess for me, Morden looks like the universe's loofah. I mean, you know.
Oh, where did Marty go?
Up that intergalactic paint.
That's pretty nice. But getting back to this, pretty much, they know the Vorlons are coming, and they refuse to get rid of the bases. But this is where Cartagia gives his plan out. He's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm going to sacrifice the whole planet to become a god. I'm like, you do that. He looks like a come on, Tickle Trunk.
Howdy ho.
Howdy. Oh,
yeah.
Expect to see that smile. I gotta get rid of that smile. He looks like he's about to attack a buffet.
Oh no!
Oh,
that's after
he looks like his car hit a manure truck, like in Back to the Future.
The point where Londo is like, maybe I should have paid attention to things on Centauri Prime. I've just been going around the edges, and this dude is ready to like sacrifice the entire freaking planet to become what? Oh, this dude's crazy.
Bruce Willis goes to the doctor.
Yeah, he does.
Wow.
I like how everyone stopped for a moment just to go, fuck.
It's like, oh, by the way, here's Mr. Garibaldi out of completely nowhere. He just happens to get jettisoned when everything's blowing up. How convenient.
We also get it. We also get to know that we actually get to see this, and Sheridan points out Ivanova's actually terrified because all the refugees from each point they think they're going to, the Vorlons are still wiping out. There's nowhere safe, so they're all coming to Babylon 5. That's why Garibaldi's also freaking out. What? Okay, it's like 500 today. It's going to be 1,000 tomorrow. What happens if it gets to 1 million or like 500,000? It's truth because it might be a large base, but they don't have enough to supply housing or even shelter for all these people, and the Vorlons have finally made their move, and then we're again. We saw that in the last episode with the folded hyperspace, and that's the planet killer. And that thing is what is that thing? That thing's bigger than Babylon, isn't it? Or
It
yeah,
blocked out their moon, I think they say, or something. Blocks out something.
blocks out. Yeah, could block out the sun.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 2.5 miles, the largest.
No, that was the ships that they were trying to find, and then the planet killer one was like the size of a planet.
See, I thought Babylon 5 was like 5 miles or something.
Yeah, that one is like 5 miles. I don't know the diameter though.
Somebody has a chart.
It's out there.
It's very big.
I can agree with that, Elysium. And this is where we are right now. Is Sheridan and Delenn finally get some time, and Lorianne is there as well. But it's kind of. This is the heartbreaking news where we find out that he only has 20 years left because one day he will just stop. And I love the way that line came out. And Delenn's still in that mode of like, I just got you back, and then I realized I only got you back for a limited time, like the McRib. And you're like, you're telling me that humans can live up to be 100 or even older. And it's like, well, 20 years is still a long time. I'll be in my early 60s. And I think he's not telling her that. I think he's also telling himself that at the same time, that we might as well cherish these 20 years and do the best we can. I think this is a pivotal point because she has to be there with him for things to go forward. They are a team.
Picture here. We talk about how good the story is, but if you look at this picture, a lot of times you can take a picture out of any movie or television show and you can't quite make out what they're thinking. This here, you could see that there's a buildup of grief and oranges, and you can tell that this is a sad scene. The acting on it is just amazing.
I have oranges. Thank you for reminding me.
You know what? And this is really one of those things that helps to separate Babylon 5 from other television shows. You're right. You could look at this one picture and understand there's definitely, this is not happy news, and that really for Delenn, it's just a mix of all kinds of things for her, but also the realization that given how long her people can live, how long humans can live, and all of that has just been wiped away. Any future that she had in mind for the both of them has just been completely wiped away, no matter how all this works out. Because they're in the middle of a war.
Right.
You accept those consequences, but no matter how this works out, even if they both survive, whatever future they have together is just now, it's got an expiration date.
Right. And I want to bring something up because this kind of weirds me out. Lorian infused some of his life force into Sheridan to give him these 20 years, right? Mm-hmm. And we've already seen him jumping back and forth through time. So this isn't a spoiler. Are you saying giving back a life force can give a life form the ability to procreate, or would that procreated life form from a given life force eventually come into the same problem and have a diminished lifespan?
I think it's more along the lines of just giving him the ability to be able to continue. I don't think it's really giving any essence of himself. It's just he has the ability to be able to continue the 20 years as if nothing had really happened, except for the fact that he's living on borrowed time.
I don't think any of the seed is affected. I think it's more along the lines of, yes, my body is a machine, as opposed to under ideal conditions living for like 100 or some odd years decently well as a human. It's like, now maybe I'll hit like 60.
So then at the same time though, so would Lorian, whatever is in Lorian after Franklin's thing, right? They've seen like Franklin did a scan of Shepard. Oh my God, Sheridan. I got Mass Effect on the brain, and literally Sheridan laid it out saying, "I got these things in my body." So you're telling me that none of those things through procreation would affect their child in the future or have some type of... Do you know what I mean, though? Isn't that
I know what you mean. No, I know what you mean. And yes, it would.
There
are scientific studies that suggest that how your parents deal with trauma and the effect of that has on their DNA and then their children's DNA. So there is some theoretical and some actual studies backing up what you're saying. So yes, it's just how would that affect their child? I don't know. I mean, you don't get to know, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of little things for any child or children that they have that they're going to have to deal with. First of all, your parents are two very well-known people. Okay, this child couldn't even, this child's probably not going to be able to do anything without having it documented.
Congratulations, you're Harry Potter.
But on top of that, once you get to a certain age, you're going to have to live up to everything that both your parents have done.
Fuck that! I know my parents.
I mean, I know you try as a parent not to put that on your kids, but whether you mean to or not, that is the reality. And there's an episode coming in the 5th season where you got to deal with that. That actually becomes a topic.
Okay.
And you're dealing of it as past history. So you realize that, their kids are going to have it difficult no matter what. It's a bad set of circumstances, but it's not an impossible set of circumstances to live through and live with,
I got you. Sorry, I didn't mean to think so far down the rabbit hole of a question, but I was just like, that always weirded me out. If your life force is given to another life form, can it procreate? And if it is procreating, does that life force that has been in one life form pass on? That way, it's actually never diminished, or does it change as it goes down the line?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what I was thinking.
Because
so technically, their kid would have an essence of the first one. So the first one's going to technically be gone.
But how can you tap into that? And is it tappable?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the way of Lorient, the same way Kosh had part of his essence.
I was going to say, is it like a Vorlon? What happens if there's a wee bit of Kosh in there too? Kosh this, that. Oh, that could be fun.
Well, also, it also in many ways, this, in my opinion, is where JMS's love of Lord of the Rings comes in. This is the kind of question that you would have to think about when you think about the offspring of any of the characters from that point on.
Oh my God, it's the same thing. And she kind of looks like an elf.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I would like to say it down there. We'd also found out this episode that Marcus is a virgin and is saving himself for someone special. Aww.
So Lorian's name is Olaf Lorien?
There is that chance.
Wait.
Well,
hold on a second. How does the first one procreate? Did he technically procreate with Sheridan? These are questions that probably should not
That's
be
not
asked.
where I'm going with this meme.
And then Delenn has those
I need to make up for time I was
It's
late.
not like he got stuck in a dryer and he was screaming, "No, Step Lorien, no."
The freaking entire city and everything. It was a very intense driver.
Delenn has all those power rings.
500 megatons.
She's more like the Mandarin.
Oh no! You know what? Hopefully, any future projects with the character will wind up a lot better than that movie did. But that's for another time.
Hello, YouTube.
Oh, Mandarin.
I just look. It would have been great to have seen anything having to deal with their kids. It would have been interesting to see what the next generation of Babylon 5 characters would have to deal with. That's one of those things that I'm sad that we never got a chance to see.
Babylon 5 still going to get the reboot? Was it called?
Oh, yeah.
He said that it was coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pilot's already been approved. They're going to be shooting real soon.
Mm-hmm. So we found out that he has 20 years to live. Marcus is a virgin. Cartagia wants to sacrifice the whole planet. Londo tricks him with the whole trial on Narn so he can get some type of plan going. And Sheridan's made the decision. Get this goddamn Kosh 2.0 off my station. And first they tried with the securities team and it didn't work. He became very violent. And then they try again with something else using Lita because Lita's just done with this shit.
It's funny. Ivanova called Marcus a unicorn.
Can he do a unicorn stare? Kind of like a Care Bear, except with his horn.
Oh wow!
No, but that's essentially what they do. They have Lita actually gives a Care Bear stare because she's like, BDSM, Kosh, I am not a fan of you and how you treated me. I release Kosh and everything. So they kind of just lure him in. And then they just keep firing and firing again and again and just going through all their ammo. And then they eventually
and then you get to see their real form, which essentially is a cuttlefish.
Oh shit! Is new Kosh pull-out king?
Yeah.
The new Kosh is the pull-out king.
Oh jeez.
What the fuck?
No.
What is going on?
How you doing, Ray J? Nice to see
going
you.
on that you should not do that in that particular manner.
Tickle Trunk is offering to rub all your unicorn's horn for that to happen, and it's only the males. So if you need help with your horn rub, just talk to Tickle Trunk because he's ready. He's available.
I'm not a unicorn, but I have a friend.
And a horn.
Memes
I
has
have
unicorn furry friends.
Well,
what?
Yeah. It's in my channel trailer. You can see she's got the floppy horn.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are going to some weird places.
Yeah, this is
fucking weird.
well, this is well beyond what I'm comfortable
This
with.
is turned from Babylon 5 to Furry 5. What the fuck?
Okay.
All right, so now I got Angry Koch, not wearing fur, and he's getting asked to leave. Oh my god, Keith, take over for the. I got to reset for a second.
Okay.
Someone do it. Oh my god.
Anyway, so we have angry. Oh, go ahead.
Well, he said a couple things in chat, and one was about JMS having mentioned the work that's already been done. But I saw one recently where he said the pilot was already approved, and they're off onto other things. That was just a day ago that it was already approved. And then you mentioned up above too. We were talking about the kid and how the humans look 1,000 years. I have to agree with you. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry, Keith.
Well, that's all right. That's all right. Okay, so Garibaldi and his team confront Olkesh and ask him to just leave. And the ambassador refuses. They move him to a remote. They move to remove him by force. And Olkesh throws one of the security guards back, forcing the security to attack, but the weapons do nothing to the Vorlon. Olkesh emits a high-pitched sound that cracks the security team's breathing apparatus, forcing them to retreat.
Yeah. And that falls exactly into plan of how to get Lita to get him out of there with the Kosh, saying that the part of Kosh is in another place and another being, and he's about to leave the station. And that's where Kosh 2.0 gets a little bit angry. That's what I'm saying. I think there's disgust that another race has any type of Vorlon energy in them. I really think so. Because the way he was very forceful with Lita, man, it makes sense.
Can I just say, I just got to say that Lita's gills look very pretty right there.
If you say so.
I like sharks.
We are on season 4, episode 4, Ray J. We've been doing this.
Waterworld.
One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish.
That's a good book.
I'm going back to mute.
Anyway, big epic throwdown, and then they call out the big gun. Lita is a cool character. I do have to at least say that. She is a really cool character.
She's a tall, energetic redhead. That'd be like unleashing Kate on BDSM, Kosh.
Kate would rip him to shreds.
She just look at the scene and just go up to one thing, do an Arthur Fonzarelli tap, and all of a sudden some fusion reactor comes down and neutralizes all the Vorlonness.
Kate would do it with just a dull spoon. Rip him to shreds. Kavat is hot.
The vibranium spoon.
Oh, jeez. She's powerful like that. And then there's Lita. But anyway,
very exciting. I remember it.
This is just so yeah.
He wants to eat frozen yogurt later. That's why Tickle Trunk.
Again, this was
it was partial to the ladies getting all like. I apologize. I'm hiding.
They set up a trap.
Yeah.
Not for yogurt. Not for like a bantha. Yes, they have a trap like a bantha strike. Thank you for jumping on that. Yep, that's it, like a bantha. Go to bed.
I don't quite understand what electrodes they used to get him, because it wasn't just guns this time. And
I think they were
clever.
trying to short out his suit so he couldn't use the defensive measures in it. They were trying to overload it. I guess that's my understanding.
That makes sense.
Yep.
No. See, I thought it was like an electromagnetic field or something like that. It was
Yeah.
supposed to disrupt the Koshness because he's basically light, and light is electromagnetism.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting that there's this cool thing on the ship we didn't really know about. So then they do end up destroying the suit, and then you see the real form of the Vorlon, which is a cuttlefish spirit ghost guy thing.
Well, I mean, now we know they're Patronus.
Yes.
Why?
Wow.
Why?
Hogwarts Babylon 5. Okay.
Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
It's all WB. They would do it now. You seen Space Jam?
They can Patronus now.
Cross station 9.5.
Wow. Hey,
Yeah,
hey.
Jerry Doyle, we actually call Bruce Willis light in this series because, yeah, we can. But yeah, rip Jerry Doyle. I got depressed. I'm sorry. Jesus. So yeah, they're fighting it out. And what does the evil Kosh do again? She goes after Delenn.
Yes.
Sheridan steps in.
Mm-hmm. And then
Takes the
rips
hit.
Rips out the remnants of
Kosh.
the first Kosh, who has a different aura, if you will. It's a yellow versus the blue, so that's fascinating. And yeah, that's it then. No more Vorlons.
But it wasn't even just the no more Vorlons. The ship was already trying to leave. They had to open up the hangar, right? Because it's still alive. And whatever happened between those two entities, the shockwave actually destroyed that whole Vorlon ship. And that was pretty awesome. Oh, Clash. I know the name. I'm going to keep calling you Kosh 2.0. Every time I say Kosh 2.0, you keep saying Clash. I know. I literally. Oh, my God.
This is why Babylon 5 was successful. The fans keep you honest. It might annoy you currently, but to be fair, it's more
How
correct.
dare all you try to criticize one name? Whatever.
I call him BDSM Kosh.
Yeah, they're going after me and not you. You're making them sound like a
I know, because it seems more cringy. I feel like my label is more accurate and not for children.
I'm sorry, Spank Kosh 2.0. Is that better?
No, that doesn't really describe what was happening.
There goes the ship, as you can see.
Is it just me, or did that look like two praying mantises, like bursting into flame? I feel like that's how Vorlon ships make new Vorlon ships.
They just explode.
Well, you also have to remember that Lorian has to replenish Sheridan, so I think this is also helps Delenn to fully understand exactly what she's dealing with. I think that seeing that act right there really helps her to make the transition to understanding and dealing with whatever time she's going to have left with Sheridan.
Yeah, I agree. And then it goes, and then after that, we see what happens. We get taken back down to Centauri. It's in the throne room, and it's pretty much Mollari talking to Cartagia with pretty much like a problem, saying, "Well, if Centauri is supposed to be consumed by fire, so he can obtain his godhood, or on his way to godhood, who is actually going to be there to pray and give like donations and virtue and prayer to a god if there's no one there to know of that god?" And then it was at that point where he started saying, "Hey, you should probably have the trial and execution on the Narn homeworld. Put an image on there, show your godhood on a different planet." And he follows along with that. He does, because he's so wrapped up in his last goal, which is godhood, that he doesn't see the bigger picture because he's just an idiot. And
But it's funny when the last Centauri Emperor asked Kosh how it would end, and he goes, in fire.
Mm-hmm. After that, we get one more scene. It goes back to Babylon 5, and you're seeing that all these ships are amassing. A giant fleet is amassing. And I'll pull it up in 1 second, but like I love the word. Where is it? Right about that's the best I can get it right now without trying to get myself in trouble. But you can see all the ships starting to. That's not including the White Stars. They're somewhere else too, but that's a lot of ships just around Babylon 5. Their airspace is full. And this is the start of like the sign that the younger races are ready to step forward, and Sheridan's going to be and Delenn are going to be at the head of this.
Yep,
the one that is, the one that will be, and the one that was. If you look at it that way.
Yeah,
it's basically about time to go Leroy Jenkins.
Pretty much. But there's also an underlying thing that comes within this series, this episode in general. Is that Garibaldi has no trust for Lorien right now, and we don't know if that's his programming or the fact that he's tired of the secrets upon secrets upon secrets. That's been pretty much the whole in-depth storyline of layers within Babylon 5 since we started doing a review of this show. And shit's gonna start getting crazy, and we're gonna get into some really good episodes. Some of my favorite episodes ever are coming up. I honestly can't wait. But, it's gonna be a ride as we're getting close to this. But
yeah,
at the end of this, it goes back to Centauri Prime one last time, and it's pretty much they're getting the arrangements for the transport to Narn, and this is the point where Cartagia has another problem and says, "I don't like the way he looks at me." Well, what do you mean? Well, remove an eye. And he's like, pick one randomly. And it goes to like this door shutting. You don't hear any noises because it's that weird, awkward silence to make your brain think of what the hell's going on if you were in that position. And it fades to credits. That was dark. The way they ended that episode, you're like, you want to go to the next one, but at the same time, you can wait.
Makes me want a hot chocolate. Yeah.
This was 10 what? 10 unicorns?
Carrots.
I don't have any carrots.
Like a giant carrot Peter Jackson had in The Hobbit.
I thought that was a turnip.
Oh man.
All right, let's go around the table before people start losing what's left of their sanity. I'm going to give this a 9 because I want to save my 10s for the other episodes I actually have favoritism for a little bit more. Yes, I'm playing favorites, but it's because they have that meaning to me. What about you, Adaga?
It's a 9 for me too. Mostly, as much as the build-up for what's going to happen with military-wise in Babylon 5 is one thing. The past 2 episodes, one of my favorite parts is what's happening on Centauri Prime. The whole dealing with a nuts monarch, the growth in Vir, what's going to happen with Jakar, all of that. This was a really big bridge episode in that story, and I think it's a solid 9 for me.
Kate?
8.5, almost 9.
What about you, Monkey?
9.
No, I asked what number. Don't tell me no. What number?
9.
9.
And
Memes already said 10.
9.4. I'm adjusting it because I'm factoring in. Yes, there are even more satisfying moments.
You can like all the things, guys. It's okay.
You can like all the things. I like that.
And of course, Keith.
Wow, 8.5.
Oh, well, that's very good. And that's like, I want everyone to stick around because we're going to wrap up. But yeah, we are going to come. Everyone's going to be here next week, right? For 5 and 6.
Oh yeah. I should be adjusted back to mainland time and everything else by then. So
yeah,
back to Howley time.
And Mountains, if you want to come on next week, hit me up on Twitter. You know where I am, and we'll get it arranged. Adega speaks highly of you, so that'd be
I do.
awesome. You do. Yes.
You also write words.
Yes, in paper, parchment.
Or computers.
And computers. Other than that, we will be back next week. It's good to be doing this again. I'm hoping we don't have to cancel ever again. So Keith can't go to Hawaii ever again until we're done this series.
What?
Same thing with Christmas. We Christmas hiatus this year's canceled because it's all just weirded out right now. But before we all go, I redid the outro. I want to thank everyone who's either given a super chat, listened, contributed. It's still awesome. It's been one of those draining weeks. Thank you, everyone. And before I say anything else, I don't have anything else to say. Y'all have been great. This has been a great night. Remember, I got 99 problems, but death ain't one. Betty White.
Too soon.
This show is sponsored by Master Griff. Don't steal content without it. Lex Luthor. He is real. And, of course, memes of turkey. Because
Nom, 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 nom.
dark and white meat. He is inclusive. And Josh Whedon is the douchebag of the day. Don't forget those lovely tropes. Here comes the outro. We'll see you next week. Stay frosty, programs.
I like the other outro better. Oh, we got good.
Tried something different.
Kind of like broccoli with cheese.
I don't like broccoli.
How dare you?
Sorry, it's a long outro. I'll adjust the audio. It's kind of loud, but yeah, there's a lot of members. Thank you, everyone, for coming by, supporting the channel, supporting the gaming. I will be ghost hunting later tonight, where ghost will choke the crap out of me at the end.
It should be louder.
I can't wait to hear what you're saying over the music.
Wow, you got real good.
I love you too.
Yeah, oh, you can hear that part?